So after about a minute 30 to 2 minutes, I did get some kind of a gray. It's a lot darker than regular white, so that actually worked out pretty well. So now we gotta put this thing on another thing that was helpful. But essentially what you're doing is you're, making that long shape, but then you're kind of pushing it down. Because he has like really weird things on his, or for shoes. So, again, you gotta make sure it's in size. I'm just really like obsessed about making sure it's in scale because it's gonna look really bad if it's not. Alright, that should be perfect. So that's the weird, whatever that is. I needed some kind of Sonic book telling me what every shape is called. Like, I seriously do. So the bottom is the exact same thing as the top, except there are little circles on them. So I'll put some circles around it. Again, it's pretty much just the same thing. Just circle, flatten. There you go. Put it on like that. You might need to squish it down a bit, or even take some out from this white, depending on how successful you were in terms of the scale. But Espio does have kind of like these things are kind of big, and his shoes are kind of big, so I think that'll be okay. Now he's got those little yellow circles around him, or around the bottom one here. Just, I don't know why, just to make it look a little bit better, I guess. I'm glad he doesn't have them on the top too, because that's a lot of work I would not want to do. So I essentially just make little circles like that and just put them in, keeping in mind the whole depth factor and how far they stick out. But there's that. I don't know how many there are. I'm just going to kind of put some around, evenly spacing them out until I run out of room. So I'm going to do that. You guys can do the same, and I'll be back to make the shoe. Alright, I ended up getting 6 all the way around, so, I kind of just eyeballed it, but that's that. And now for the actual shoe, I believe it's purple. It's like this. It's more of a shape like this instead of more like, like flat, like Sonic. So, there we go. I think we're gonna call that the shoe, or I'm calling it the shoe. So, there we go. We got that done. Now we need to put the little black stuff all over it. So I'm going to assume that the whole bottom probably has black, like on the bottom. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put, because in the instruction booklet you can see some black around the sides, so I'm just going to put black around the sides. Would it be easier to just put a wad of black on the bottom? Probably, but I'm just going to put some on the sides. So roll out a long piece, and you could probably flatten it. It would help you probably spread it a little bit better. Then make sure you have it, you flatten it down, dropped it, don't drop it, and then kind of put it around the bottom. Again, it's just a little quality of detail that really makes a difference, and make sure that it's actually touching the bottom. You can do that by wherever you end up putting this, just kind of roll your finger down the side, and then it'll touch the ground, and you can kind of just flatten it out around it. And mine was not long enough, which I kind of knew it wouldn't be. I never can really position those that good. Just kind of continue it around. There you go. Connect it right there. And that's the little design on the bottom. Now it looks like he's got something going on behind him, behind the shoe, like a little black piece right there. So we'll just do that. Just on the back, flatten it. You may want to make it a little bit more like that, then you can wrap it around a bit better. And you'll actually see it not just from the back but from the sides, because it does kind of look like it's on the side. So that, and then you'll have some excess up here, but kind of just cut that off. Cut it off with your fingers. Yep, that's how you do it. So there. Make sure this is even. Mine's kind of jagged because of the whole cutting with your fingers thing, so just till it's to your liking. Then we got the last thing, which is really easy. It's the classic stripe across the shoe that I think just about all Sonic characters have. Right, like this. I'm gonna thin it out. And again, the whole problem trying to get all this in the camera. Across like that. There we go. That was a really long shoe, actually. Don't know why that was so hard, but then we got that. Let me zoom out a little bit. Got a mess going on. I'm going to put a toothpick in here because you can never be too safe, like I said. And also another note, the fact that sometimes this does happen to me. We already have a toothpick in here, but luckily it didn't end up going all the way through. But sometimes it will go all the way through, or it'll come a lot closer. And if you try and put one in this way, then it'll kind of like bend this one to the side, and then it'll go through the clay piece. You know what I'm saying? So you got to make sure that all the toothpicks are straight. And I'm gonna actually poke this first because it'd be easier to put this into this then. Fit it in, go in, go in. Alright, there we go. And then just turn that, make sure he's standing up. He's in a perfect scale with his shoe. I'm really glad that happened. And now, thus is the shoe. I'll already have a second leg because just do the same thing again for the second leg. Then we'll have two legs, and then I'll sculpt the arms, and then I think we'll be just about